Students, we have seen that when a charge moves in a magnetic field, it will have circular motion. The necessary centripetal force for this charged particle is provided by the magnetic Lorentz force. Magnetic Lorentz force is given by F is equal to BQV sin theta. So, if the charge moves in a magnetic field as well as electric field, then the charge will experience electrical force and the magnetic Lorentz force. At that time, we will have F is equal to EQ is the electrical force plus Q into V cross B is the magnetic force, or F is equal to Q into E plus V cross B. So it is having combined electrical force as well as magnetic force. Suppose if the charge is moving in a magnetic field alone, if moves perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the direction of the force is obtained by using Fleming's right hand rule. Suppose if the charge is moving with a velocity v, then the force can be resolved into two components. This is v sin theta. So v is the angle made by the charge with the magnetic field. Now the force that experienced by the charge will be resolved into two components, horizontal component and vertical component. The horizontal component of force remains constant while the vertical component changes. Due to this change in the vertical component, now the charge will have spiral type of motion instead of circular motion. So, you see that when the charge moves in a magnetic field with a velocity v inclined with the magnetic field, if it is perpendicular, it will have circular motion. Suppose it is inclined with the magnetic field, then the force will be resolved into two components, horizontal component and vertical component. Horizontal component remains the same while the vertical component changes. Due to this change in the vertical component, now the charge, instead of having circular motion, it will have spiral motion. It will have spiral motion. As we seen earlier, due to this magnetic Lorentz force, this charged particle, charge is having circular motion. The necessary centripetal force is provided by the magnetic Lorentz force. So, BQV is the magnitude of the magnetic Lorentz force. This BQV is equal to mv square by r, where mv square by r is the centripetal force. So v and v gets cancelled. So v by r is equal to dq by m, or the radius of the circular path is given by vm by dq. Here we have seen that the radius of the circular path is given by r is equal to Vm by dq. So when you see m and dq, m and q are constant for a given charged particle. So radius is given by V by d. If you keep magnetic field constant, radius is proportional to velocity. Radius of the orbit is proportional to the velocity. So in one circular motion, this charged particle travels a distance of 2 pi r. T is the time period. So, 2 pi r by T will give distance by time. Distance by time will give velocity, or V by R is equal to 2 pi by T. So equating these two, V by R is equal to dq by m. V by R is equal to 2 pi by T. So we will have 2 pi by T is equal to dq by m, or 1 by T is equal to dq by 2 pi m. What is 1 by T? Reciprocal of time period is frequency. The frequency of the circular motion is given by dq by 2 pi m. So this will give the frequency. Therefore, time period of the particle executing circular motion is given by 2 pi m by dq. So this expression gives the time period of the charge moving in a circular path, and this will give frequency. When you see time period and frequency, they do not depend upon the velocity or radius of the path. So whether the particle moves in a circular path of smaller radius or moves with a circular path of larger radius, time period remains the same. So it does not depend upon the radius of the circular path. It depends only upon magnetic field, mass and charge. So it does not depend upon the radius. Secondly, if the particle moves with larger velocity or lesser velocity, it will take the same time period. And frequency also does not depend upon the velocity or radius of the circular path. So this condition, frequency condition, is used in cyclotron. So next we are going to see what is cyclotron. So cyclotron is a device which is used to accelerate charges to very high velocities in order to produce nuclear disintegration. So next part we are going to see what is cyclotron, how it is working. So students, now we are going to see cyclotron. So how this cyclotron is working? What is the use of the cyclotron? So cyclotron is a device which is used to accelerate the charged particle to very high energies so that they can move with a very high velocity. So it possesses very high kinetic energy. And this very high moving charged particle, when they met to hit the atom, they produce nuclear disintegration. So cyclotron is based on the principle of a charge moving in a magnetic field experience magnetic Lorentz force, due to which the charged particle moves in a spiral path. So in cyclotron, we are having two evacuated metal chambers. So two hollow chambers separated by a small distance, which resemble the shape of letter D, and they are called as Ds. So D1 and D2 are the two Ds. They are separated by a small gap. Then in the gap we are keeping a source of charge which is to be accelerated. These Ds are connected to a radio frequency oscillator. So we are having radio frequency oscillator. So to produce electric current of very high frequency. Now the two Ds are kept between the pole pieces of a electromagnet. So we are having two pole pieces. Electromagnets. So when the electromagnets are excited, they will produce uniform magnetic field in the region of the Ds. So the magnetic poles will produce magnetic field, and the radio frequency oscillator will produce electric field. So combined effect of electric field and magnetic field, this charge will move. So now we are going to see how this cyclotron is working. At any instant of time, when a charge is emitted by the source, this charge will be attracted by a D which is having opposite polarity. For example, if you consider this as an alpha particle, this alpha particle is positive in charge. So, when alpha particle emerges out from the source, it will be attracted by the D which is having positive polarity. Since this charged particle moves in a uniform magnetic field, it will have a circular path. It will follow a circular path like this. As the charged particle exactly reaches the gap, the polarity of the two Ds get changed. This will become and this will become positive. So at the gap, the charged particle gets accelerated due to the magnetic Lorentz, so attracted. So it will begins to move a circular path of larger radius. So this process gets repeated, and now this charged particle will follow a spiral path. For every time when it crosses the gap, the particle gets accelerated. Finally, this very high energetic particle is taken out from the Ds by a deflector plate. By giving high potential to this deflector plate D, the charged particle is taken out from the cyclotron and made to hit the target nuclei to produce nuclear disintegration. So this is how a cyclotron is working. Now let us see what is the theory part of the cyclotron. So theory part, when you consider, since this charged particle moves in a uniform magnetic field in a spiral path, it will obey the magnetic Lorentz force. So the time period of the cyclotron is given by 2 pi m by bq. 2 pi m by bq, or the frequency of the cyclotron is given by f is equal to bq by 2 pi m. So this radio frequency oscillator frequency is equal to the frequency given by this expression. So when these two frequencies are adjusted, so when the radio frequency, oscillator frequency is same as that of the frequency of the charged particle moving in the uniform magnetic field, this charged particle exactly reaches at the center when the polarity of the two Ds gets changed. So the frequency of the orbiting particle is given by f is equal to bq by 2 pi m. So the frequency of radio frequency oscillator and the frequency of the orbiting charged particle are equal. Then this charged particle gets accelerated every time when it crosses the gap between the two Ds. It gets accelerated and possesses very high kinetic energy to hit the target nuclei and to produce nuclear disintegration. So this is how a cyclotron is working. So time period is given by 2 pi m by bq and frequency is given by bq by 2 pi m. So this is how a cyclotron is working. Cyclotron is working. So now let us see what are the limitations of cyclotron. Cyclotron cannot accelerate a particle with no charge. So neutron cannot be accelerated using cyclotron because neutron is having no charge. Secondly, maintaining uniform magnetic field over the entire region of the D is very difficult. Third one, the frequency condition depends upon mass magnetic field. So for heavy when the mass becomes very very light, frequency, maintaining constant frequency is very difficult. For example, when you consider electron, when electron moves with very high velocity, there arises relativistic variation of mass. That is, mass of electron varies with respect to velocity. Due to this, the frequency changes. When the frequency changes, the resonance condition is not satisfied. So most probably, electrons are not accelerated, cannot be accelerated using cyclotron. So these are the drawbacks of cyclotron.